Decision tonight as the Brown County Board of Supervisors moves forward with plans to prepare for the 2025 NFL Draft. Attempts to raise camping rates sparked some debate, though. New Attendant Emily Riley was at the meeting tonight and tells us how they came to the decision.
As Green Bay gears up for the 2025 NFL Draft, which is expected to triple the city's population, county officials are making crucial decisions to accommodate visitors. Wednesday night, the Brown County Board of Supervisors approved a plan to open county-owned and operated campgrounds early for draft attendees and raise the price to $100 per night with a 3-night minimum. Members of the Education and Recreation Committee say this price change is necessary to keep up with the demand and the operational costs that come with it.
We ran all the numbers from our water, our electric, from our trash and recycling services to staff time.
However, some committee members questioned the recommendation, suggesting the price should be higher than $100, citing other campgrounds in Northeast Wisconsin charging higher prices.
I'm just saying that there's some opportunities here that we may be overlooking.
A motion was filed to change the original proposal, arguing it might not be enough to cover potential fluctuations in costs. Despite the push, the amendment ultimately failed, and the original motion was passed.
I mean, if we want to go to $200 a night just to make sure we cover every contingency, we can do that. But then we're going to be gouging the people that are visiting our county. The best guesstimate for our expenses is $100.
The committee says consultations with cities like Detroit and Kansas City, who've previously hosted the draft, all went into the budget. With measures now approved for $100 per night, the department says they will let the public know when they're able to go online and book a reservation. In Brown County, Emily Riley, Action 2 News.